Tonight we're picking pine pollen. So here we have a beautiful pine tree with all of its catkins. So I believe that's what they're called, but these are the little cones. Here you can see, these are the male cones. And these cones are what produces the pollen. And let me show you. You can see on my arms how much pollen actually comes out of these cones. So I just want to show you, just by tapping it in my hands a little bit, what the pollen looks like. So you can see this little fine yellow dust is what we're picking. And this pollen dust is what pollinizes the female cones. So the tree has both the male cones and the female cones. And this, on a windy day, will just fly up in the air, and all of the cones are full of them. So there is like this huge abundance of pine pollen right now. We are at the beginning of June, end of May is when they start producing this pine pollen. And I'm just going to bend down and show you what we've been picking. So pine pollen is one of our local superfoods. You can get this at health food stores, you can get this online. People consume it a little bit like bee pollen, where you can put it in your smoothies, you can put it in your fiber mixes. I have little powdered drinks that I drink before I do exercise that already has bee pollen, ginseng, royal jelly. So I'm actually going to add some pine pollen to the mix. So this is something that you want to take a little bit every day. We've been picking, so I don't know if you can actually see, maybe we can take a shot of this tree just to get an idea of all of the pine cones and to see the abundance that this tree is offering us. Let me pick a couple so that you can see the effect here when you're picking pollen. So this is what you see, and how you know is that you tap it a little bit and you get the idea. So this is what we're collecting. In a lot of places that are high in pollen, you have yellow powder on the cars and on the picnic tables and in the water and in puddles. It's all over the place, right? Other recipes there, I've seen cookie recipes that you can do with pine pollen, and there are also tinctures. Now the tinctures are made with like a vodka or an alcohol. You would just kind of let the whole pine cone in the vodka for about a month and sit there, and then you would consume the tincture. Otherwise, you can freeze the pine cone in your freezer. You can also collect the pollen, and you want to keep it in your freezer because it doesn't have a very long shelf life. Now it's still time. There are places where you can see that the pine cones are done. They're a little bit more brown, they're open. When you tap them, nothing comes out. And then you'll walk down the street, you'll see another type of pine. So if you look here, actually, there's another pine tree here. And these ones are a little bit more yellow, but they're not ready yet. So when you tap them, they still have a little bit of pollen, but they're not as ready. So this would be, I'd wait another couple of days before I pick this pollen. So just going around town, going around and seeing all the different trees. There's little shrubs, there's tall ones, there's pine cones with the double needles, there's pine trees with 5 needles, there's all kinds. And so just collecting it from all over the place is awesome. So hopefully you have the same idea. Collect your pollen, keep it for the year because it's only in the spring that you can collect them, and enjoy it. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you. Bye.